Have you ever watched your cat and seen them do something that just makes no sense? Something that's a little baffling, maybe even a little scary. Well, today we're putting on our detective hats because we're diving into a genuine medical mystery, Feline Hyperesthesia Syndrome.
So I want you to picture this. Your cat is totally chilled out. Maybe they're snoozing in a patch of sun, purring away on your lap, and then bam, out of absolutely nowhere, something just flips a switch. It's that moment that has so many owners asking themselves, what in the world is happening to my cat?
And this is the kind of thing we're talking about. One minute, you've got a perfectly calm cat. The next, they might be tearing through the house like they're being chased, maybe even yowling, with this bizarre, visible twitching or rippling of the skin all the way down their back. These episodes can seem to pop up from nowhere, and then, poof, they're gone just as fast.
Okay, so to solve this mystery, we have to start by gathering the clues. Our investigation really kicks off with figuring out what this condition at the heart of it all even is. So what exactly is feline hyperesthesia?
Well, the name itself gives us our biggest clue. Let's break it down. Hyper means too much, right? And esthesia relates to sensation or feeling. So hyperesthesia literally just means too much feeling or increased sensitivity. For these cats, something as simple as a pet down the back or maybe even just the air moving across their fur can feel super intense, irritating, or even painful.
Now, while the official medical name is Feline Hyperesthesia Syndrome, or FHS for short, it's got a few other nicknames that are honestly pretty descriptive. You might hear people call it Twitchy Cat Syndrome or rolling skin disease, and both of those perfectly capture that classic weird skin rippling thing that happens.
And the list of behaviors, it's a real grab bag. You've got that rippling skin, of course, but also these sudden, wild bursts of energy, running and jumping like crazy. Some cats will vocalize really loudly, sounding genuinely distressed. Others might suddenly start chasing or even attacking their own tail, or aggressively licking and biting their paws or their sides. You might notice their pupils get huge, and they flinch if you try to pet them, especially on their lower back. And here's a key detail. The episodes themselves are usually super short, often lasting less than a minute. Afterwards, the cat might just seem kind of confused or totally wiped out.
So the big question is, what is causing this bizarre collection of symptoms? This is where the detective work gets really tricky. See, there's no single blood test or scan for FHS. It's what we call a diagnosis of exclusion. That just means vets have to be detectives and rule out every other possible culprit first.
Right now, researchers have a couple of leading theories. On one hand, some experts think FHS is actually a type of seizure disorder, kind of like a focal epilepsy. This theory makes sense when you consider the trance-like state the cats seem to be in, and the fact that some of them get a lot better on anti-seizure meds. But on the other hand, a different theory suggests it's a form of neuropathic pain, that's nerve pain. The idea here is that the nerves have gotten all mixed up, maybe after an old injury, and they stay overly sensitive. So they're misfiring, sending pain signals from a simple touch that really shouldn't hurt at all.
So a vet's investigation is all about this process of elimination. First up, they'll do a thorough skin check. Let's rule out the obvious stuff like a nasty flea allergy or some other parasite that's making the cat super itchy. Next, a pain and nerve exam. Could it be arthritis in the spine? An old injury that's still causing trouble? They'll check for that. And finally, there's the big medical workup. They'll look at everything from behavioral issues like severe stress all the way to other medical conditions, maybe running some blood work. It's only when all of these other suspects are cleared that a vet can point the finger at FHS.
All right, so once all the other possibilities are off the table and FHS is the prime suspect, the focus totally shifts. Now we move on to management. And this is important. There isn't really a cure, but the goal is to manage the condition so well that we can reduce their discomfort and seriously improve the cat's quality of life.
An effective plan is usually a three-pronged approach. First, you look at the environment. The goal here is to cut down on stress. This can be as simple as making routines really predictable, giving them a safe hideaway spot, or using puzzle feeders to make meals more interesting. Second, you work on behavior modification. This is all about redirecting that energy. Regular, structured play sessions can give the cat a positive way to burn off steam, steering them away from those compulsive behaviors. And third, when it's needed, there's medical intervention.
Meds like Gabapentin can work directly on that nerve pain, while other drugs can help manage anxiety that might be triggering the episodes in the first place.
So, after all that, what does the future actually look like for a cat with this mysterious syndrome? Well, the good news is, with a solid management plan in place, the prognosis is actually often very, very good. In fact, check this out. One study gave us a really hopeful statistic. It found that 6 out of 7 cats showed a significant improvement with medication. And get this, 5 of those cats had their symptoms completely go away with just one type of medication. That just goes to show you that finding the right treatment can be a total game changer.
Now, it's really important to remember that FHS is typically a chronic condition. That means it needs ongoing, personalized management. The goal isn't some one-and-done fix. It's about finding that unique mix of strategies that works for your individual cat, to keep them comfortable and to keep those episodes from coming back.
As an owner, you become the lead detective in your cat's case. Keeping a detailed diary can be huge for figuring out triggers, and some triggers can be really surprising. There was one case study where episodes were clearly linked to specific scents, things like scented candles, strong cooking spices, even cigarette smoke. It's also so important to avoid touching your cat when they're in the middle of an episode because it can actually make it worse. And, most importantly, never punish the cat. This is behavior that they absolutely cannot control.
And of course, while we've laid out all the clues and suspects today, this explainer is for educational purposes. If you recognize any of these signs in your own cat, it is absolutely crucial that you partner up with your veterinarian. They're the only ones who can run a proper investigation and put together a safe and effective plan for your furry family member.